I'm American, never been to a 1970s British pub, never smelled that gravy. I still spent a week cooking every single one of these forgotten meals, and it genuinely made me sad for something I never even had. 1970s Britain ran on physical work. Factories, mines, shipyards. When the shift ended, they didn't go to restaurants. They didn't order delivery. They walked into their local pub. Same seat, same meal. Every week. That meal wasn't just food. It was the one reliable thing in an often unreliable world. 15 meals defined that world. Today, almost none survive. I made every single one, in my American kitchen, to find out if Britain was right to let them go. Monday, the humblest meals. Meal 1. Bread and dripping. The most misunderstood meal on this list. Thick white bread. Beef fat spread so heavily it nearly soaks through. A pinch of salt. That's it. In Yorkshire, landlords gave this away free beside pints, because salty food kept drinkers in longer. That's not a food story. That's a psychology story. I took my first bite expecting to hate it. It was incredible. Rich, savory, deeply comforting. This meal disappeared because Britain called animal fat unhealthy in the late 1970s. Health campaigns, media pressure. Something eaten for generations became embarrassing to order overnight. That pattern repeats across every single meal this week. Meal 2. Liver and onions. Monday dinner. The smell hit me before the pan got hot. That iron-rich smell that divides entire families. Some people adore it, others can't sit near it. In Sheffield and Newcastle, this was affordable weekly food. Older generations grew up eating offal during wartime rationing. Nothing was wasted. Liver was trusted. By the 1980s, it became a reminder of poverty, of old Britain, of a past the country wanted to forget. The meal didn't get worse. Britain's relationship with its own history did. Meal 3. Ham, egg, and chips. Tuesday lunch. This one genuinely surprised me. 2 fried eggs. Deep orange yolks, the kind you rarely see anymore. Thick cut chips. Real salty ham. Not the processed kind. In 1976, this cost 60 pence, roughly £4 today, for a full meal. I mopped the plate clean with bread afterward. Fast, familiar, deeply satisfying. I understood immediately why it sold so well. Then frozen chips arrived. Then processed ham. The meal technically survived, but the version people loved quietly vanished while nobody was watching. Meal 4. Pickled egg, crisps, and ale. Tuesday evening. The one that made my American brain short-circuit. Pickled egg from a jar on the bar. Packet of crisps. Drop the egg in, crush everything together. Eat it standing up with a pint. I did exactly this. Honestly, not bad. Salty, vinegary, crunchy, makes complete sense when you need something to hold off hunger after 2 pints. The fact that this sounds ridiculous now and completely normal in 1973 tells you everything about how fast food culture can shift inside a single generation. Wednesday, the heavy middle. Meal 5. Meat and potato pie. This is where the week changed for me. Every town in northern England believed theirs was the best. Lancashire pubs used thicker gravy. Yorkshire packed more potato. Every town had one pub locals swore made the proper one. When mine came out of the oven, I genuinely stopped what I was doing. Because that smell explains something. Why people left work in the rain on a Friday, walked into their local and felt, for an hour at least, that everything was fine. Pub food wasn't an experience. It was fuel mixed with comfort. Meal 6. Corned beef hash, Wednesday dinner. Soft potatoes crushed with salty corned beef. Some pubs added onions. Others stirred brown sauce directly in. I wasn't expecting much, but it was genuinely hearty, dense, salty, deeply warming. The kind of food that makes sense after a long day when you just need something solid. Canned food carried real emotional weight in post-war Britain. Older generations trusted things that lasted in cupboards, things that stretched further during difficult weeks. By the 1980s, it became unfashionable, too associated with hardship, too honest about what it was. People wanted fresher-looking meals, even when those meals tasted worse. Funny how image changes food. Thursday, the most misunderstood. Meal 7, steak and kidney pudding. And this one is genuinely divisive. Not a pie, a pudding. Heavy suet pastry steamed until your knife almost sinks through it. Thick gravy flooding out the second you opened it. That rich smell of kidney that divided entire families. In Birmingham pubs in 1975, 22 pence, cheap enough to eat without thinking twice. I understood the divisiveness immediately, but underneath it, deeply satisfying in a way that's hard to explain. Modern pub meals are designed for photographs. Old pub meals were designed for hunger. That's the entire difference. And once you understand that, you understand why everything on this list disappeared. Meal 8. Faggots and peas. And before anyone says anything, in Britain, this is simply the name of a traditional dish. Cheap pork offcuts, herbs, breadcrumbs, onions, rolled into dense meatballs, drowning in thick gravy. Mushy peas on the side. Across the Midlands and South Wales, workers practically grew up on this. Rich, peppery, deeply savory. You could smell them cooking from outside during winter evenings. I loved them. Genuinely one of the best things I ate all week. But once pubs started modernizing in the 1980s, foods linked too strongly with poverty vanished quickest. People wanted continental food, food that looked wealthier somehow. And slowly, faggots disappeared from menus altogether. Friday, payday food. Meal 9. Scampi in a basket. The meal Britain invented to feel sophisticated. Tiny breaded scampi. Red plastic basket. Lemon wedge. People ordered this to impress dates while it came frozen in giant catering boxes. Tasted exactly like that sounds. Fine. Nothing more. By the 1990s, the illusion collapsed. That's what happens when you dress up working-class food instead of just being proud of it. Meal 10. Bangers and mash. Friday dinner. Bangers and mash. Thick, peppery sausages, mashed potato, onion gravy. Under 40 pence in 1972. People didn't order this for excitement. They ordered it for reassurance. Honestly, I felt that. Most comforting thing I ate all week. Then frozen sausages took over. The flavor changed. The smell disappeared. The comfort went with it. The dish didn't die. The soul of the dish did. And nobody officially announced it. Meal 11. Spam fritter and chips, Saturday lunch. The meal Britain became most publicly ashamed of. Crispy, salty, soft inside. Genuinely better than I expected. America invented Spam. Hawaii celebrates it. South Korea has Spam gift sets. Nobody there is embarrassed. Britain alone decided this was shameful. That tells you more about British class anxiety than it does about the food. Meal 12. Plowman's lunch. Saturday dinner. Cold cheddar, chunky pickle, bread roll, pickled onions. Simple, honest, surprisingly satisfying beside a pint. Pubs loved it. No cooking required. Customers loved it. Cheap and reliable. Then Britain decided it wanted pizza and pasta instead. Suddenly this felt too quiet, too simple, too British. Meal 13. Shepherd's pie, Sunday lunch. Nothing smelled more comforting all week. Mashed potato browned at the edges, steam pouring into rich minced lamb underneath. Deeply satisfying. The kind of meal that makes a cold day feel manageable. In 1970s Britain, pubs were somewhere warm when homes were cold. Shepherd's pie belonged to that world completely. It didn't disappear because it got worse. It disappeared because Britain became ashamed of how simple its food used to be. Meal 14. Fish and chips with bread and butter, Sunday mid-afternoon. Not takeaway fish and chips, pub fish and chips. Big flaky cod, thick golden batter, chips piled beside it. And always bread and butter. Not decoration, for mopping up vinegar and grease afterward. Honestly, one of the most satisfying meals of the week. In seaside pubs, this practically defined Friday evenings. Then, rising fish prices hit. Then, frozen fish. Then, smaller portions. Then, microwaves. Once pub food stopped feeling fresh, people stopped coming entirely. Meal 15. Steak and ale pie, Sunday evening. The last meal. The one that matters most. Not a trendy pie in a tiny dish, a proper one. Heavy ceramic plate, thick gravy, steam fogging your glasses when it arrived. Every pub had its own version. You remembered good ones for years. Sitting down with mine, at the end of a week of eating like a 1970s factory worker, I finally understood something. This wasn't just food. It was trust. Same meal, same smell, same landlord, same regulars every Friday. A relationship between ordinary people and the 1 hour of warmth they'd earned after a hard week. When chain pubs took over, that relationship ended. Quietly. One menu at a time. And nobody really said goodbye. I'm American. We invented fast food. We exported it everywhere. But Britain didn't need our help. It destroyed its own food culture perfectly well. France has peasant food that became fine dining. Italy has cucina povera the whole world celebrates. Britain had working-class pub food that fed an entire industrial civilization and called it embarrassing. Every meal this week had something modern food rarely does. Purpose. Not trying to impress anyone, just trying to take care of someone. Britain lost more than it realizes by deciding that wasn't enough. Which of these do you remember? Which should come back? Tell me below. If this made you feel something, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.